this is my looking for elderflower day in the rain, and does anything feel or smell better than standing in the woods in the rain? That's all. That's it. That's simple. It's awesome. Do you agree, Kofi? Do you agree? No? You are just looking for rats and you have the perfect weather gear. Good morning. So it's quite a dull, overcast morning, but the best time to pick elderflower is actually in the morning. So I'm going to head out today and we're going to take our little friend Kofi with us, and we're going to go and look for some elderflower, about 15 to 20 large heads if we can, to make a batch of really simple to make elderflower that honestly is going to save you a lot of money because you don't have to buy elderflower in the supermarket, but also it's just going to bring you hopefully a lot of joy because it's something you got from the hedgerow. It's bringing in a bit of nature and just something very simple you can do at home. Okay, let's go. So I'm just out here in a local wood very near the house, and a couple of things just came up as I was walking out here about routine and about accessibility in sort of day-to-day life with nature. And something that occurred to me was two things. One is, you know, I'm in a wood, and as far as you're seeing on here, I could be anywhere. I could be miles from anywhere, but actually just over yonder here through the trees is a housing estate. You don't have to be somewhere really far away to get absorbed in nature. That was number one. Number two that came up was about routine, and it's something that my dad had talked a lot about in his job and in his life, that we have this idea about routine, that routine is awful. That routine is either to achieve a goal. We do routines and disciplines because we're trying to get somewhere. When you think about an exercise routine or so forth, or even a work routine that you're doing in order to improve, say as a musician, you might routinely rehearse, but we don't always think of that as a good thing. We can think that other kinds of routine are like really boring. And something that I've learned over the years as someone that loved traveling, was always looking for new experiences, wanting to see new countries and go on different adventures, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But there is something very profound about going on the same walk every day or a few days or week and going down the same old paths every day. Every day is actually different. Every day there's something else. I've walked down here today. There's some rhododendrons that I filmed last week. They're now way out in flower. The leaves are changing, the weather's changing, and I think that is something about our life and our belonging in nature. It's reclaiming routine as being something that is not boring at all, but routine gives us a chance to notice the days changing. And in fact, weirdly, going on a walk routine can break up my work routine. And I think this is another thing that we do actually crave. As a musician, when you write music, you go back to certain motifs, certain repetitions, because the brain likes that. It likes remembering, oh yeah, I know how this bit goes, oh I love the chorus, or what have you. And nature itself is like that as well. Just something that came to my mind while we're out here. Thought for the day. Right, so I literally just videoed that moment about routine. I got to the end of the path here and there was 3 deer just staring at me through the fence. I'm sorry I didn't capture it. I tried, but there you go. Here we are, we're on the edge of an estate, a housing estate, and 3 deers were just hanging around there. I mean, isn't that beautiful? What a totally different day that has been to any other day I've been in this wood. Like, I'm so overwhelmed with joy just seeing that. That was amazing, amazing. Wow. So there you go. Not a boring routine at all. Good boy. Good boy. Another thing I love is that you can find things really unusual, like just hanging around in the wood, like this stone that I'm sitting on. There's actually a whole load of them around me on the path. You know, it's quite unusual. Look at this guy, Lord Langentock. It's the double L is quite Welsh, isn't it? Clangentock. Someone tell me I'm getting that completely wrong, aren't I? Lord Clangentock. Anyway, whatever his name is, look at the amazing script. Isn't that beautiful? Good boy. So we found some elderflower here. This is actually the best time to pick elderflower, is in the morning, because all that pollen dust here is going to be an all-time high, open for the beginning of the day. Don't ever be put off by the idea that you can't do something like this, that you've got to be somewhere right out in the countryside. You don't. It's all around you. This is so lovely. We have nightjars out here. Look at them. Aren't they just the cutest things that you've ever seen? They kind of tentatively block up little pathways to keep them safe, which I think is so lovely. So one night I will come out and see if I can record the nightjars. Hello there. So I'm back home now. I've picked the elderflowers. I've got quite a good crop here. I'm going to make some elderflower cordial, but today I want to try something a little bit different. Rather than a recent recipe I made, I found one that is supposed to be over 100 years old, and I really love it because it's so much more flavoursome than a lot of the modern ways we see of making it. It's a little bit more time consuming, but only in the infusion stage, but actually it's super easy in the making stage. So I'm just going to start here and show you what I'm doing and see if you would like to join along. So all I'm doing here to begin with is I am putting 2.5 litres of filtered water in with just over about 1.3 kilos of sugar. Now you can put in as much or as little sugar as you like. If that's too much for you, add less. If that's not enough for you, add more. I don't think you have to be religious about it, but just to make a good sugary concoction there, we're just gonna slowly heat that up. So what I'm doing for this recipe is putting in 2 lemons and a lime, just the zests while the sugar water is heating up, because we want it to really deeply infuse with all that zesty flavour as well. You can also put ginger in, by the way, like fresh root ginger. That goes really, really nice. You can put a vanilla pod in. There are just so many lovely things you could add at this stage, but for this batch I thought I would just do a little bit of lemon and lime. While I'm waiting for that to heat, just another thing to say, if you're not 100% used to going and picking elderflower, is wild elderflower will have leaves like this, nice sort of pointed leaves. The reason I say this is there is like a cultivated form of elderflower that is not wild. It's more like a garden variety, and it has very wide round leaves, darker and a bit shinier, not this kind of floppy leaf. So just to be aware of that, because sometimes you'll find them both growing in similar places. I'm actually not sure if they're safe to use. That's one thing I actually don't know, and I'm pretty good at wild things but not so much at garden things. So just something to be aware of if you're trying to identify it. Other big lessons that I learned is don't rinse your elderflower. So at this point my sound went, but what I'm actually trying to say here is don't wash your elderflower. I know it might give you the ick, but you want all the pollen in there and the flavour, so either tap the flowers off or leave them on paper for a while to let insects go to safety, and then cut as much of the stem off as possible and put it into your hot mixture. Turn the ring off so that everything is just infusing, and what you want to do is just let that now start to infuse with all the flavours, and then you're going to leave it to cool down, and once it's cool you're going to put it with a lid on into the fridge. And I think 3 days is a good amount. You can leave it for 4 or even 5 if you really want to. So once a day from then onwards, just take your mixture out and give it a good stir around so that you really get all of that flavour to deeply infuse. 3 days later, it's time to bottle up. So you want to drain out the lemon and elderflower and lime through a sieve, and you'll have a lovely golden liquid left, and you want to strain that through some cloth, some cheesecloth if you can, or a clean tea towel. Now you add citric acid. I only use a couple of teaspoons. I don't think you need a lot. You're going to juice your lemons and lime, and you're going to put that in later when it cools a bit. Do keep the lime and lemon peel and dry out on some baking paper, as it does make some nice sort of candied peel to go into your lovely drinks that you might want to make later. You're also going to want to prepare some bottles, so you can clean them in a dishwasher or hot soapy water, and I like to put mine in the oven just to heat them up and get them sterile, and then you're ready to start your bottling. So personally, this is one of the bits that I really dislike. So I like to reheat the cordial just so that it's really sterile and it's going to keep for longer, but that also means that you have to bottle up your cordial while it is still hot, or at least very warm, into hot bottles, and I'm always scared they're going to explode or something. So here we go. So I find the best way is to just incrementally fill the bottles up, giving them space to breathe and time to cool down between batches. So that seems to work really, really well. You should get about 3 to 4 or 3.5 bottles from this recipe. And once they're ready, you can use them as soon as you want to, really. I like to keep them in the fridge. And there you have it. You have made a beautiful batch of 100-year-old recipe elderflower cordial. So here's the final product, an absolutely gorgeous glass that you'd never be able to buy in a supermarket, and you made it yourself. Thank you again for watching my channel. I look forward to coming back and sharing more with you soon. And if you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to subscribe for more. Goodbye and God bless you, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!